I think that has been one of the hardest things and challenges for me as a business owner. The level of working that I was doing then, it was just from poor time management.
I can't. My head would be on total fire. Occasionally you've got to say no. Oh no, I was just like, no, I've got to take it. I've just set up this business. I need to keep going. I need to promote myself and everything.
Yeah. Welcome to Kitchen Tales, a podcast that features stories from the food industry, business insights, and our personal journeys. I'm joined by my co-host and friend, Rhona. How are you today, Rhona?
Hello, I'm very well, Colline.
We're having our second episode.
I know, I can't believe it.
I know you just travelled recently. You were in New York. I've never been in New York before, so tell us about it. I want to hear everything. I want to hear about the food, what you guys did. Yeah, tell me more about your trip to New York.
So I haven't been to New York for I think probably about maybe 25 years, something like that. So this was the first time that I've personally been back. So I went on a family trip.
Nice.
And we're in the middle of A-levels and GCSEs. So it's a lovely, just a 4-day quick break. Usually tend to go on beach holidays, but actually we thought, right, come on, let's do something different. And they were quite excited to go to a city.
That's good.
So we thought, right, New York.
Yeah.
And we were tourists. Now, I'm very much a country girl now. I lived in London. And
does it feel the same to London, or is it different to London?
I'd say the shopping's better.
Okay, yeah, I hear that all the time.
I think it's cool. I don't know. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
And I think exploring a city that either you've never been to or you haven't been to in a long time, there's just an excitement to it. And especially like somewhere, I mean, people talk about New York. There's so many like movies. My son is really obsessed with Home Alone when he's in New York.
Yes.
So like all things like that. So I'm pretty sure for like kids as well, it just feels like, wow, I'm finally in New York.
Yes.
There's just something that feels so magical.
And then of course we went to fantastic, restaurants and,
food.
we were very much tourists. So we were just like stopping in places. But, we went to a taco bar and we went to a steakhouse. Not cheap. New York is quite expensive. It was, I would probably say it was double London.
Oh wow,
yes,
double! And I think London is expensive.
I know. So I think we got a bit of a shock. So we were holding back. It was a glass of wine, right?
Yes,
a bottle of wine,
bottle of wine.
And a cocktail. And we had a lovely time. It was lovely. It was a perfect break. But it was good to come back. Good to come back to the countryside.
Yes.
And then
once you're used to the countryside, being in big cities can get too much, can it? Yeah.
But I always find actually, I feel like whenever we go away on holiday, I need a break from our kitchen.
Yeah.
I whether it's our family food or whether it's work, I do need a bit of time out. Going to eat at different restaurants and just, and not, because I do get bored of my own food sometimes,
Absolutely.
I try and mix it up as much as possible. Yeah. But so it is nice.
Yeah. So just taking that break and being able to just be cooked for, trying out different things, I'm pretty sure it's amazing. Was there anything memorable that you ate that you thought, okay, I want to either try this at home, recreate this, or I just want to eat this again?
Well, I'm not sure if I would be able to actually match it.
Yeah.
But these tacos were absolutely amazing. They were so good. And it was very casual. Yeah. You just stood and you ate these tacos and they were just like, oh my goodness. It was... it's
just amazing.
They're tacos, for goodness sake. Nothing that special.
Yeah.
Actually,
they were really good.
They were really, really good.
Yeah.
So we enjoyed it. You must have had some amazing food. You've been to Zimbabwe.
Yes. So for those that don't know, I was born in Zimbabwe and I moved to the UK when I was 15. So the first 15 years of my life, I lived in Zimbabwe. So I always say that I was born and raised in Zimbabwe. And I hadn't actually been in 11 years. So the last time that I went to Zimbabwe was 2014. A lot of my immediate family and some extended family are here in the UK or all over the world, but I still have some family that are in Zimbabwe. My mom recently moved to Zimbabwe 2.5 years ago now. So going back to Zimbabwe, seeing my mom, getting to see all my extended family, some of them I hadn't actually seen since I was 15. So now being closer to my 40s, being able to go back to a place that I call home, it was just amazing.
Wow.
And, when it comes to food in Zimbabwe, it's all very simple and very much like as organic as it gets. So just being able to eat some of the meals that I used to be able to eat when I was younger, a lot of it is all about things that you grow. So when I went, it was like during the maize season. So we've got maize is basically like a white corn. So that was in season. So being able to have that fresh and having things like groundnuts that some of my aunties had dried up and then I was eating them. It was just really, really nice. Just going back to your roots, Nothing fancy. I went with my son and all he wanted to eat was pizza.
Oh, really? Did he not enjoy
just wanted to eat pizza. He knows what he likes. So when it comes to food, he's not as adventurous as I would like him to be. I mean, when kids are so young, sometimes they don't eat as well as you want them to be. So he wasn't as adventurous, but the pizzas, even with him, I understood why he likes the pizza, because the way that they make their pizza, I mean, obviously pizza is not native to Zimbabwe, but the way that they make their pizza is a little bit different to the pizzas that he has here. So just for him, even though it was mainly pizzas that he was interested in and some of the soft drinks that you wouldn't get here, just being able to go somewhere. And as you say, I had my aunties that were cooking for me. I didn't have to cook. I think I only cooked one day. I was there for 10 days. Only one day that I cooked for everybody. So yeah, that's some of the things that it just feels so special.
Yes.
Not being able to cook.
And a good break from the kitchen for you as well.
I needed that break.
And then you come back and you feel refreshed. And then you want to stop cooking. You want to be, and actually, I've got this idea and this idea.
Exactly.
When you're at home and you're cooking the same thing, it does get boring.
It does. So having that break.
That break is.
And I think, because sometimes, I think you can attest, because both of us, working in catering, you sort of, you don't know when the jobs are going to come in. So you have sometimes where it's so busy and you can't take a break.
Yes.
And then there's other times when it's a bit quieter, but actually there's a lot of work because you're still having to do your admin. Social media, I mean, we were having a conversation about how much time social media can take. I mean, I'm really lucky because I've got Stella who helps me. So you guys need to check out Stella.
I still find it very tough. Yeah. Okay, my children are older now. And there's a lot of, it's weekend. A lot of it is weekend work when they're at home.
Yes.
Now, I am lucky at the moment. They are away at school and they come home every 3 weeks. So I am taking more business now at the weekends. But how about you? Do you find it the same?
It is the biggest juggle because my kids are still a little bit young. So I've got a 3 and 8-year-old. So that demand a lot of work and a lot of attention as well. So I would say only recently I started actually learning, first of all, to say no to certain things and just learning how to make working for myself work for the family. I think that has been one of the hardest things and challenges for me as a business owner to just figure it out. Because, for example, when I was running the cafe, that demanded my time. I felt like 24/7 because, if I missed a few school assemblies, school things that I wasn't able to get to because they're clashing with me being at the cafe, because, when you're working and you said my opening times are 8 till 5, you're not just going to close in the middle of the day because usually the school assemblies would be okay, it's at 9:30 straight after you've dropped them off. You're not going to say, today I'm going to open at 11 because there's always something at school. There's always something that's happening. So I struggled then, I think, more than I did now. And a lot of just not being able to, I felt like I wasn't able to give my children as much time as they needed. But now working from home and picking and choosing and doing the catering bits, it works out so much better because I can look at my schedule and say, actually, I can't take on this job because my son has got sports day. My son's got this. So being able to juggle that has become a little bit easier. Sometimes it is hard because, as I said, that there are some weeks where you've got a lot of business, other weeks where it's a little bit quieter. So being able to not take any business when you're quieter can be tough because you're actually, I'm letting go of this money, but I think just learning where your priorities are. So I think that's what I'm learning now, to say the kids in a way at the most priority. The business has to come secondary in certain situations, you know? And one thing that I've always said, I want to learn and do better. I'm slowly getting there. With the kids being young, it's just learning to meal prep. So starting to plan meals ahead of time. And I found that it actually helps the kids as well, knowing what they're going to be eating, especially with my son, who's like, you know, a little bit, he knows what he likes. So knowing that, okay, I'm going to have a burger on Tuesday, I'm going to have this. He gets a bit of time if it's like he's having something that he might not necessarily like. He gets a bit of time to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to be having spaghetti bolognese. I'm not too sure I want that, but he knows. And I try and get them to actually make the menu so that they write it down themselves and then they put it on the fridge. So in a way, kind of gives them a bit of accountability to say, well, you said you wanted to have a burger on Tuesday. This is what you're having. And then I'm able to plan and either do the food shop. Sometimes I'll make, say if I'm making a big spaghetti bolognese, I make it and then make enough for the following week. So just doing things like that, they just release a little bit more of my time so that I'm able to spend time with them and also have time for the business. But yeah, it is a lot to think about.
It's being organised. Really, really organised, I think. And it's just like I have to prep every week.
Yes.
I you know, on Sunday I sit down and I look at the week ahead, think about the food, think about who's in, who's back from school or whatever. And and I will make it a batch. If I have time, you know.
Exactly.
It's all time, isn't it? And I find time it just goes. And there's not enough time.
No. It never feels like there is.
I think we're all the same.
Yeah.
I think it'd be interesting to know about others.
Yes.
I think we're all the same, but it would be good to hear from others on, how they juggle.
Yes. And I
family
think
life and working.
And I think just the organization part of it, I think those are some of the things that I think watching other people, which is why, I like collaborating and working with other small business owners that are in the industry. So my friend Nick, Food by Hope, I'm really hoping he can join us on one episode. I learned organization when you're going to events through him. Because when I started, because I was an amateur, I still think I'm a bit of an amateur some days. I was an amateur, I didn't know. But Nick just taught me how to plan ahead and prep the food and then, putting the finishing touches or doing the cooking there, but have a plan in place. Because before I was literally like that person that would just buy my ingredients. I'm like, turning up at the event. I'm like, I'm cooking everything just there. And then I'd run out of time.
I remember
just not planning.
I remember that really well. I came to the waterside. I was dropping over lots of quiches, and I saw you in the kitchen. I said, "What are you up to? You look really, really busy."
Yeah.
So I've got an event tonight, and it was something like 50 people. I was like, "What? You're doing it now, Colline?" Yes, and I've got to go to a meeting first. And I was like, "When are you doing? When are you doing it?"
Honestly,
you were an absolute superwoman.
I know.
You didn't sleep. I remember that.
I did not sleep. And that's one thing actually, because the way that the level of working that I was doing then, it was just from poor time management. That's what I'm now learning. I'm like, it seemingly seemed like, I was this superwoman, I was doing everything, but because I was doing everything so last minute, because I was trying to juggle that family life, juggling working in the cafe and then trying to juggle the catering business. But if I just planned my days, which I'm learning really well now, a few people that have worked with me, they're like, Colline, you probably still have a lot of work to do. I think I do, because I'm more of a last minute person. But it doesn't help anything.
I can't work like that. I really can't. I have to be planned. I can't. I would be. My head would be on total fire. Yeah, and I'd be so stressed.
So stressed out. Like that. You have to plan. So so I'm learning that planning. There's a saying: if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I have to say that saying really comes true, because I've seen it and I've been in situations that I just think you should have planned that. You should have planned that. And talking about planning and things like that, recently I've just been thinking about some of the TV shows and things that I like watching. And I was just having a discussion with one of my friends, because one of my guilty pleasures that I used to watch was Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares. Absolutely, absolutely love that show. And it got me thinking, did they used to plan ahead of some of the scenes? Because some of them just seem so outrageous, right?
No, they can't have planned that because it looked, yes. I remember watching them. Yes. Yeah.
And it's just like, is there planning?
There's no planning. Well, stand corrected, but I don't think so.
Because it just made me think, I was like, because some of it is just so outrageous where you're thinking, how did this come about?
I think they're a bit more planned now.
Yeah,
if
probably.
You look at all the, the MasterChef and the Bake Off.
Yes.
That's all very much planned.
Yeah, it's much planned, and it's like there's a formula to it.
Yeah.
And with Bake Off, it's filmed not too far from here, is it?
Yes, I know. I've worked in that tent.
Have you?
Yes,
No
I
way.
did an
What was
event.
that
I
for?
was in, oh my goodness, it was about 4 or 5 years. No, it must be. It was before COVID. I can't remember. Time goes, Colline.
Yeah.
But I was in the. It was for a wedding.
Nice.
I was in the
realize they did
kitchen.
weddings there.
Well, it was a wedding. I was helping another caterer, local caterer, and I was in the kitchen.
Oh, wow.
And the gardens are so beautiful, and the house is beautiful.
Lovely.
It's such a beautiful setting.
Yeah. So we're just talking about Welford Park. Welford Park. So I went for the first time. They had the bluebells. And I took my daughter around, and that was my first time. I was like, I'm finally at the Bake Off.
Finally won it, Colline. Come on, next year.
I'll tell you a little story, actually. So the year that I started my business in 2019, I actually applied for Bake Off.
Did you?
Yeah. So I applied for Bake Off, and I actually went through to the third round. So I didn't go through because I then started my business. So because I had a food business, they said that would make you technically a professional. Maybe if I hadn't started my business, I would have been in Bake Off.
But you could be professional now.
No, I can't.
Yeah, you're amazing.
I am not great at pastry. I'm not great at pastry. I would really struggle on pastry.
That's one thing. I can teach you how to make pastry.
Yes, please.
I'm always making pastry.
Do you know, that's one thing that I've never really done. Pastry and bread.
I make a bread occasionally.
Okay.
In the Thermomix.
Yeah. Okay, I need to get on it. I need to get on it because my kids do like bread.
Where do you find your recipes? Do you make a lot of them up? Because I tweak a lot.
That's what I do as well. So I tend to one website I love, BBC Good Food.
Yes.
I mean, it's just a classic because usually even if you Google, that's the first. If you Google anything, it's one of the first that comes up. And for me, funnily enough, a lot of my references for anything that I tweak comes from Pinterest. So I love Pinterest. So Pinterest, I just say I love anything frangipane. I'm making anything with frangipane. I just search for frangipane, all these different bloggers, all these different the websites, they come up. I don't use cookbooks as much as I should and want to.
Yeah.
I sort of like keep them almost like they're these prized possessions that I don't want anything to happen. But I'm like, I should be getting inspiration from this. And I think the way that I work as well, I'm somebody who's quite visual. I like seeing videos. So if I like a certain chef, so I really like an amazing chef who makes like a lot of Persian food, Sabrina Gayo.
Yes.
She's incredible and so fascinating to me. I go on her Instagram. Yes. And I see her videos of how she makes things or see a picture of how she makes things. I work so much better that way than just seeing a recipe and then reading it.
That's interesting. You see, with cookbooks, I like to have a picture. If I see that picture, then I want to make it. If I don't see a picture, then I don't know what it's like.
You don't know what it's like.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. So just being there. So I think we're both visual, just being able to see it.
Yes.
I think it's quite important. Because there's some people that just from reading, it's just like, yep, I get it. It's just the same with like, when you're putting up a shelf or something. If you just get me to read it, I'm not going to be able to make it.
Yes.
But if I'm able to see a video or if there's pictures, I'm able to picture it, then I'm able to actually put it together. Yeah. It's just so interesting how different people are able to see and visualize things and how they make it happen. Yeah. How about, what's your favorite cookbook then? Do you have a cookbook at the moment?
Yes, at the moment I got the Ottolenghi Comfort. Oh, it's one you can't tweak.
Yeah.
I've tried two recipes, and I need to do more. It's it's lovely.
Oh,
it's so good.
He's brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's one of his I'm not sure if she's a head chef. I'm really sorry, Millie, for getting your title wrong, but she's now one of the heads for Otolenge. Her name is Millie Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
She's the first person that I ever followed on Instagram and followed every single thing that she did to a T. She's just incredible. So I think she's probably been working with Otolenge maybe coming up to 3 years now. When I found out she was working with Otolenge, I was just like, this is a match made in heaven. So she's got a background where when I started watching her, she was doing a lot of like Spanish things.
Okay.
So I learned how to make like a romesco sauce from her. And I then did her cooking class online during COVID. And now just seeing some of the Otolenge things and just seeing, this is Millie's inspiration.
So she was in the test kitchen?
Yeah, she's been in the test kitchen. Yeah,
wow,
she's doing all that.
Amazing.
I think it's just
very,
incredible.
very
yeah. I would love to one day just being able to be in that room and seeing. Because I think with both of us, because we are self-taught, I never got the experience. I mean, maybe you did. I never got the experience of actually going into like either like a cookery school or learning to cook with other people. It's just always felt like, okay, I've just learned on my own. Yeah. I'm making this food and then it goes out. So that's one of the things that I always say. I was like, I would really like to just have an experience, whether being in a test kitchen or even just being in I'm not sure in a restaurant because I think I'm past that.
You've got the Woodsbeen. They've got the cookery school.
Yes.
Where else is there? There must be others around here.
Honesty Cookery School. Yeah. Learning how to cook different things.
They've got I've been in there once before, a long time ago. And there's a farm shop quite close by. I can't remember the name, but. There's lots around.
Being able to do that. So I want to do more of that. Yes. More of that and just finding that time. Yeah. But I think that's what I like about, I'm not too sure how you do your planning when you're putting menus together. So again, for me, only recently, because I'm learning to be a planner, I started actually sitting down at the start of the year, start thinking about what I'd like to add to my menus. Because I think a lot of stuff, you've got the tried and tested things that these work all the time. But it's just nice to bring in some new things. So I did that for the first time this year, actually sitting down, looking at some of my cookery books, having a look online on Pinterest or some of the people that I follow and just getting inspiration from them. And actually that's been some of the fun parts of actually doing what I do. Just sitting down and coming up with this and then trying them at home.
Do the children try them?
The children do try them, my youngest. So my youngest is more, she likes trying everything. My eldest is a little bit cautious. He likes what he likes and is very much like, okay, maybe I'll try it. Now that he's a little bit older, like this year, I've genuinely been so excited because he mentioned to me, both my children, they're not big meat eaters. They don't really like meat. Which is fine. And whereas I grew up with a lot of meat, so we eat a lot of meat. But he said, I think I would like to try steak. He tried it. He's like, I don't like it. Oh. And that was fine. But just him trying it was just like, this is really good. And, you try something, because I'm very much like, let the kids make their own decision about the things that they like, that they enjoy. Obviously, always trying to make sure that they have a nutritious, balanced meal.
Yes, of course.
Because if he chose his meals, he'll probably have pizza every single day and you probably want to have some French fries. So just being able to bring some new things to them and getting them to try it is like a lot of excitement for me.
Do they like vegetables and fruit?
My youngest does. Yeah. It's the eldest. It's a really hard one for me. It's a really hard one for me, but he's slowly getting there. So I ended up, most people always assume that if you know how to cook, your kids are probably like great at the cooking as well, or they're great at eating really well. I ended up actually getting an amazing nutritionist who deals with kids' nutrition because I was so worried about his diet because I thought, I'm doing everything from when he was born. I tried to make sure that all the different types of foods that were part of his diet. But then he got the norovirus when he was about 2. Oh. And then that put him off every single food. So he's slowly starting to get back to liking some foods now at age almost 9. Right. But what helped me so much, seeing this nutritionist to help him, she just said, listen, what you need to realize as a parent, You are in charge of what your child eats and where they eat it. Whether they eat or not, that's on to them. That was a really hard concept for me to grasp, especially being a foodie, someone who loves food. They're like, you decide what they're going to eat, where they're going to eat it. So for us, we try and make sure that every single time there's no TV on, you sit down on the table and you eat your food. Whether they eat or not, that's on them. No encouragement of saying, you need to eat this, or none of that. It took me about a year.
No child will starve.
No, exactly what she said.
Yeah,
but it took me almost a year to be able to discover that. And yeah, now I'm just glad that they eat everything. And now it got me thinking about dinner. So what are you having for dinner?
We're having a chicken casserole.
Chicken casserole.
That I have made already.
Oh, nice.
You know, we talk about planning. Yes, planning.
Yeah.
Yes, planning. So I made this 2 days ago. So we're having it tonight.
Yes.
It's in the fridge and it's all freshly made. It's gluten free.
Amazing.
And my daughter's gluten free as well. So I use the gluten free flour.
Gluten-free flour.
And it's very simple actually. It's just it's chicken, carrots, some bacon, some leeks, no onions.
Yeah.
And it's delicious. It's one of the family favourites.
Oh, I love that.
And I've been making it for years and I've never changed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's different casseroles. We always have the same.
The same one.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get that recipe.
Yeah. How about you?
Oh, for me, so we are actually having our traditional food. So in Zimbabwe, we have what's called sada. Sada is made with grounded maize meal. So we're having that, and we're having that with some green veggies. I make like a little tomato sauce, and then we're going to have that with barbecue chicken. So we're doing a barbecue. The weather's starting to get better, so we're barbecuing.
Delicious.
Yes.
So enjoy.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us. We look forward to having you on our next episode. I'm Colline, and you can find me on @Colline's Kitchen on Instagram. How about you, Rhona?
Thank you, everyone. I'm Rhona
at Thyme_home cook.